potency and threat of Iranian-backed terror.
Okay. We will open this up to Q&A. I will ask that you ask one question, and if you can resist all temptations and just ask questions on Iran. If you could state your name and organization, and somebody with a microphone will get to you. So, who would like to go first? English, if you could, please. It's problematic, but okay.
האם אתה חושב שישראל צריכה ליזום מהלך צבאי מקדים נגד איראן וסוריה, והאם אתה חושב שסיכויי המלחמה עם סוריה ואיראן, סיכויי השלום עם סוריה ואיראן הם יותר מאשר סיכויי המלחמה?
Okay. How's your Hebrew?
Oh, good enough, but I didn't quite catch the end of it. Sure. Sure.
Good. So maybe we can pick up batches. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Said.
Give me that.
Sure.
No, that paper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any more?
Chris Mitchell with CBN News. How would you stop the expansion of Iranian bases in the region?
Okay.
And Linda? Linda?
Linda Gradstein from National Public Radio. How do you respond to the national intelligence estimate, and has that made an Israeli military strike less likely?
How about one more?
One more. Okay. Caleb.
Caleb Bendavi from the Jerusalem Post. There was an op-ed written by Charles Krauthammer in the Washington Post last week where he discussed perhaps the United States putting Israel under its nuclear umbrella. And Minister Ben Eliezer made comments that very much sounded like he was discussing Israel's second strike capability under threat of attack. So my one question in two parts. Do you think that it's not unreasonable to begin discussing possible strategies publicly in the event that Iran does acquire nuclear weapons? And the second, more specific, as one of those strategies, it's been raised publicly several times of Israel negotiating being put under the U.S. nuclear umbrella, the way Western Europe was during the Cold War. What do you think of that option?
How about some serious questions? Well, these are very important questions. In advance, I have to say that I am not going to be able to, and I don't talk about what it is that we could do or could not do on the Israeli side. But I will try to address these questions as best as I can. Number one, we don't seek a war with anyone. We seek peace with all our neighbors, and that includes Syria, Iran, and so on. Everyone, certainly with our Palestinian neighbors. And this is what we would like to do. When we speak about the security problems, we speak about the fact that we are being attacked, we are being threatened, we are being not only told that we'll be wiped off the face of the earth, but also that Iranian-backed proxies are establishing themselves at our doorsteps and rocketing our people. Now, it's instructive. I don't know how many of you were here during 2 years ago, during the Second Lebanon War, a year and a half ago. It's interesting to hear what Hezbollah and Hamas were saying. Especially Hezbollah was rocketing northern Israel. They were rocketing the Galilee. They were rocketing Tiberias. They were rocketing Haifa. They were rocketing Akko and so on. And when you ask them, why are you rocketing them? And they say, well, because we're rocketing occupied Palestine. Namely, we're rocketing occupied Haifa, occupied Tiberias, and from the south, the Hamas were rocketing occupied Ashkelon. And wait a minute, we thought you confined your attacks merely to the West Bank, which is Judea-Samaria, disputed territory. No, the occupation, they said, was this. In other words, any part of Israel, including, and especially, most especially in the pre-1967 part, this is considered occupied territory, which has to be, quote, liberated with the force of arms, the force of terror. In this case, rocketing civilians is terror, deliberately trying to rocket civilians. And that remains the core of the problem that we face. The core of the problem that we face, the reason we don't have peace, in my opinion, is not today a territorial issue, but an existential issue. I think in many ways Middle Eastern politics have been overtaken. Nationalist sentiment has been overtaken by militant Islam, and militant Islam rejects any territorial or political solution. It wants the dissolution of the State of Israel. And this is the problem. This is the source of the problem. This is why it's becoming so dangerous, because how can you negotiate with somebody who wants your destruction? What will you negotiate? The terms of your disappearance? And this is the kind of thing that we're facing. So I want to make it clear that we're talking about how to defend ourselves, not how to initiate conflict. And in so doing, I want to say that I don't think that we're alone. I think in most Arab governments today, and I'm weighing my words carefully by saying most, there is a fear that they too will be overtaken by the rising power of militant Islam. And of course, the arming of Iran with nuclear weapons would tremendously increase that power, and thereby threaten not merely Israel, but every Arab regime in the Middle East. More moderate and less moderate, everyone. And this is not something that today we have to say to our Arab neighbors. I think to the Arab governments around us, I think that whether or not they admit it publicly, this is what they think. Believe me, this is what they think.